Playing a road playoff game in a hostile environment against a top defensive team without your MVP and co-star teammate will never ever be easy, and what James Harden did last night was special. Without his MVP co-star in Joel Embiid, James Harden torched the Celtics' top-ranked defense. He torched them. It did not matter whoever they put on James Harden. They were getting cooked. You put Derek White on him, that's a step back three in your face. You put Al Horford on him, that's a blow by layup. Or in the clutch, it's a step back three dagger. You put Marcus Smart on him, that's points every single time. He was cooking every single Celtic who guarded him. The craziest part about this Harden performance to me was that he was getting no calls. See, usually in the past, when James would have a scoring outburst like 40, you'd say, oh, but he shot 17 free throws. Well, tonight Harden had 45 points, and he only shot 4 free throws. This whole night, he was just giving them the work, straight bucket after bucket after bucket. And I was incredibly impressed because I didn't have much faith in Harden. As the season went on, my faith in him kind of became less and less. And going into this game, no Embiid, I just assumed the 76ers would get ran off the court by the Celtics. But Harden stepped up, he had a throwback performance, and he really willed his team to victory. But Harden wasn't the only good performer for the 76ers. Everybody who stepped in really played their role. Tobias Harris was good on both sides of the ball. PJ Tucker, the cardio king, 37 minutes, 0 shot attempts, provided some really good defense and some really good hustle like he always does. Paul Reed, 13 rebounds. And guess what? At the end of the game, he made a huge defensive play and he sunk 4 clutch free throws. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect him to make all those free throws. Paul Reed for his career only shoots 65% from the line, but in the clutch last night, he was 100%. And in a game like this, where you can steal a game on the road, that's what you need from a role player. Getting into more Sixers, while Tyrese Maxey kind of had an off night shooting from the field and from three, he hit some clutch buckets at the end. He hit a huge and one over Marcus Smart to cut the lead to 1. And then later, he stole a pass from Malcolm Brogdon and nailed a layup to take the lead. Seeing that much poise and seeing that much clutchness from a young player who's having an off night in a road playoff game is incredibly impressive. The next Sixer I want to give props to is De'Anthony Melton because in that first half, there were times it looks like the Celtics were going to take a big lead. And in that first half, Melton made so many huge threes to just keep the Sixers in the game and to keep the game within reach. Going forward for the Sixers, what does this game really mean? Well, first off, you've stolen home court advantage. And I believe that if you want to win this series, you have got to win every home game. Next off, this has to give you a lot of hope for James Harden. And while obviously he's not going to be able to do this every game of the series, and there may even be a bad game now and then during the series, you have to feel more hope and more faith in him. Next up, more faith in the whole team in general, because stepping up like this without Embiid, it makes you excited for the series when Embiid is back and when you're at full strength. I didn't have much faith in the Sixers going into the series, but after this performance, they could really pull this off, and they might actually make their first conference finals in forever. Getting into the Celtics, this loss was incredibly atrocious. I mean, incredibly atrocious. You're facing a team without their MVP at home, and you're supposed to be title favorites, and you do that? That is terrible. Now, there is a lot of series left. And there's obviously still a great chance they win this series. I still honestly favor them in this series. But when your aspirations are championship and you're routinely having bad performances like this against teams like the Hawks and the Sixers without Embiid, if I was a Celtics fan, I might slam that panic button and I might start feeling uneasy. Because if you keep having games like this, keep fucking dreaming about a title. It won't happen if you keep playing like this. But let's stay clear and let's really look at why this loss was bad. Well, as a team, the Celtics shot 59% from the field, 39% from 3, and 94% from free throw. And they lost. Isn't that crazy? If you shoot that well, you should be blowing a team out by 20. It was just an all-time meltdown at the end of the game. Starting off with that possession where they gave the Sixers the lead by turning it over to Maxey. No one was able to get up a shot, and then Brogdon threw it directly to Tyrese Maxey for the game-leading layup. That is terrible. And then the final possession, which eventually led to Paul Reed sinking the game icing free throws, they don't get a shot up either. They were unable to get shots up in the clutch. And at the same time on defense, they were clueless. That last possession when Harden is taking on Al Horford, you're supposed to find a way to switch that. You cannot have Horford on Harden in a moment like that. That's going to be a huge shot in your face. So overall, this game at the end was just filled with mental lapses for the Celtics. And throughout the course of the game, there were a lot of mental lapses too. I feel like they sort of just expected themselves to win this game and they counted it over before it was played. And then they couldn't really rise to the occasion when the clutch came up. And they're really going to need to learn from this loss going forward if they want to pull out the series. Overall, the series is going to be great and it's going to be a long one, 6 or 7 games. And whoever wins this series is likely going to come out and represent the East in the finals. This is going to be a big one. Well, that's it for me this video. If you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time.